Alright, so quick review from yesterday. Yesterday we spent most of our time talking about supply and demand. We said that supply was how much of something there was to buy. Demand was how much of it people actually want. So how does the supply and demand affect the price of something? Who remembers how it affects the price of something? Okay, so if the demand was high, that usually means that the supply will be low. What happens to the price then? Right, the price is going to be higher. So remember that your price is usually going to follow your demand. Okay, so if you have something that is in high demand, your price is going to be higher. If you have something that is in low demand, your price is going to be lower. Okay, so if you have something that nobody wants, it's going to be hard to charge a higher price for it. So the example we gave yesterday was like game consoles. Okay, we talked about how that PS5, when it comes out here in about 6 weeks or so, was going to cost about $600. Well, we looked at eBay yesterday. Does anyone remember how much they were on eBay yesterday? We looked it up. So what were they? Yeah, like $1,200. So they were doubled in price. Why were they double in price? Why would you pay twice as much for something? Okay. Yeah, because when they actually do come out in stores, you're not going to be able to find them. Okay, so if you want one, you're going to have to pay more for it. So let's look at some of these products here. Okay, so these are all just random things I pulled off the internet and took screenshots of them. So we'll start with the Reeboks up top. So you can see where they've got the original price crossed out. They were $100, $99.99. Okay, the current price for them is $44.98. Why do you think that is? Okay, we talk in science about making inferences. What inference can we make about these shoes? What? Okay, yeah, they probably weren't in high demand. What else can we infer about it? Carter? Yeah, they're probably in high supply. There's probably a lot of these sitting in a warehouse somewhere. No one was buying them for the original price, so they had to lower that price in hopes that people would buy them. Same thing with that boot down there at the bottom. Okay, you can see here its sale price is $52. And it says you're saving $97.86. Okay, so these boots were 65% off. Well, just like the shoes above, they probably had a bunch of them sitting around. No one was buying them, so they had to cut the cost of them. The cups. Now, the picture of these cups is a little bit old. And you guys probably don't remember when these things first came out. But these Ozark Trail cups at Walmart. Okay, you can go to Walmart right now and buy like multiple colors of these. But when these first came out at Walmart, they were impossible to get. Okay, as soon as they put them on the shelves, people were buying them, 3, 4 at a time. It was when those Yeti cups first came out. Yeti cups were a lot more expensive, so people were buying these ones instead. So the picture here on the left, you can see where they were $7.74. Okay, that picture's from Walmart's website. Well, how much were they? Or they were $7.74. Are they in stock? No, they're sold out. What's that mean about their demand? Yeah, it means it was really high. They were hard to get. If you looked at Amazon, which is the picture on the right, they're in stock, but what happened to the price of them? Yeah, it almost doubled. Okay, they were selling for double the price there at Amazon. Just because you couldn't get them at Walmart, they were all sold out, so people were willing to pay twice as much at a different website for them. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so along with supply and demand, companies are always trying to make a profit. So even though supply and demand drives the price either up or down, the business always has to make a profit on whatever they're selling. If they're not going to make a profit on it, they're not going to be in business very long. So the profit is simply the amount of money that's left over after the cost of producing the product are paid. So the example I gave you here on the PowerPoint is a good old McDonald's hamburger. Okay, so if you've ever had just a plain hamburger at McDonald's, not a whole lot to them, and they're not very expensive. So let's say it costs McDonald's about 25 cents to make one of those hamburgers. By the time they pay for the buns, they pay for the meat, the ketchup, the pickles, all the stuff that goes into a hamburger, their cost is going to be about 25 cents. Well, if they're going to sell that hamburger for 75 cents, well, they've got 50 cents profit. It cost them 25 to make it. They sold it for 75. There's a difference of 50. So a company's goal is always to make that profit. Otherwise, they're going to be losing money. They've got to sell their items for more than what it costs them to make it. Even if you're providing a service, you've got to make sure you're making a profit. Okay, so let's say you have a business mowing lawns. Okay, you mow grass. Well, you charge $20 a lawn, and someone has a huge 2-acre lawn, and it's costing you $20 worth of gas to fill up your mower and mow it. Did you make any money that day? Are you making any money mowing that lawn? No. You're breaking even. All right, so as far as making your profit goes, it doesn't matter if you're setting up a lemonade stand on your sidewalk or if you're a huge company like Apple. Okay, how many of you guys have ever tried to set up did set up a lemonade stand on your sidewalk? No one in here? You've never done a lemonade stand? You have neighbors? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, let me use a different example then. Okay. So, good old Apple. I hope you're familiar with Apple. So, every year Apple releases a new cell phone. There's a company called IHS that each time they release a new phone, they buy one and completely take it apart and add up the cost of the parts to it. So, with this slide here, you're seeing the cost or the breakdown of an iPhone 6. Okay, so it's a couple years old at this point. So that iPhone 6, once they took the whole thing apart, figured out how much the screen cost, all the microchips in it, the different wiring, they figured it cost Apple about $200 to make that phone. There's $200 worth of parts inside of it. Well, at the time, that phone sold for $650. So, what was their profit per phone? Shiloh? Yeah, $450. So every time they sold a phone, Apple was making $450. Okay, now, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but the first weekend that phone came out, they sold like 20 million of them. Okay, so 20 million times $450. Apple did pretty well that weekend. They made a lot of money off of those. So that's why when you see even something expensive like a cell phone or even a TV are kind of like this too, where they're really expensive and then they have this huge sale on them. Happens to cell phones all the time. Okay, usually even with Apple, Samsung, Google, okay, they all come out with a new cell phone each year. Well, that's why you can get the one that's older, super cheap. They're still making money on it. Even if they cut that cost in half, okay, even if they're still charging $325 for them, 50% off is a pretty good deal for a phone. Well, even at half off, Apple's still making $150 on the phone. Okay, so the goal of any company is always going to be to make that profit. Now, we're going to do a little activity with this. If you go ahead and open up your computers and log into your Google Classroom. So once you get into Kia, once you log in anywhere, if you click on where it says Mr. Powell, just anywhere on the screen where it says Mr. Powell, it'll take you to a page that says my profile. It might be in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. If you find the picture of the guy on the bike, it'll say Mr. Powell next to it. Click on it. If you look just below that picture, you're going to see something that says Lemonade Stand. Go ahead and click on that. So when you do that, it's going to take you to your Cool Math. I know a lot of you guys have been on this website. You've probably played games on it. There's a game called Lemonade Stand we're going to play on there. So on Lemonade Stand, it gives you this introduction. It tells you that you're going to have 30 days to make as much money as possible. But all I want you to do for right now is just play on the game. Get familiar with it, and I'll give you more instruction and directions on it tomorrow. But for now, I just want you to mess with it and see how it works. But you want to go for 30 days.